We're going to be talking about our summer episodes. What did we learn? What are we going to take with us into the fall season? And what purchases we recommend for this upcoming season? All that and more on Let's Talk Bowling. Welcome, folks, to Let's Talk Bowling. I'm your host, Go Time, and this is Coach Geek right here. And today we're going to do a bit of a recap of the last 7 episodes and talk about our choices for top 3 balls for sport and house shot this coming season. As everybody knows, everybody's starting up bowling for the fall season. Some have started earlier. Some started this week. Some are starting next week. Some starting the week after. So it's kickoff time. It's go time. So we are going to be discussing that later on. But first, we're going to talk about a few things that we've done before this point. So Geek, this is episode 8. I think my last roundabout of doing a podcast. I think this is where we got to before it all
up to 8.
It ended.
So, and to think we've got 4 guests lined up for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, and possibly really 5 because one's a double.
Yeah,
one is a double. But so far, I mean, how do you feel about how the ride's been? I mean, what do you think about it so far?
Like I'm enjoying this immensely. Just being able to talk about something I'm passionate about with somebody else who's passionate about it and sharing it with other people watching who are passionate about it. I mean, what could you ask for anything better than this? So, I was working today. I had to work late yesterday, and I told my partner today, I was like, look, I got stuff to do at 4:30. I'm not staying.
Yeah.
So, no, this has been great.
No, I honestly think this time around is a lot better. Again, with someone as equal knowledge, you and I kind of pair up pretty well as far as hosts and our knowledge and ideas of how we want to get things done. And it's grown in a way that I couldn't even really imagine. But sometimes the best way for things to grow better is sometimes you got to destroy it. So the first show, it was great for what it was, but now I am definitely happier with where I'm at and what we're doing and the guests we're getting. We're getting consistent guests.
People asking us to get on this show. We're not just having to go find them. Now we're starting to have some people like reach out to us and say, "Hey, I want on."
Yeah, and that didn't happen last time. We had, I think we had 1 or 2 guests, and we actually had to ask. So for this time, people wanting to be on the show and want to use us as a platform to get their products out there and stuff like that, or their brand or what it is that they represent on this sport of bowling that we all love so much, I can't do nothing but be happy about it and keep on pushing and keep on trying to keep it growing. No, I mean, from our first episode, we talked about, sport versus house. What is our true average? And you've been just recently medically cleared to go back right-handed on the right side of the bowling alley. Bowling alley. So, how do you feel? Have you bowled? You've bowled recently too, right-handed. Right for a while.
A couple days ago, I was supposed to go yesterday too, but Wednesday I went and I'm actually coaching another guy, David Padilla, here locally. He asked me and asked me and asked me. I finally made some time, so I got some time to coach with him, and then I rolled my first 2 games with my right hand. I did the drills that I was teaching him to do, some no-step drills, release drills, because we're working on his release pretty heavily. He's about a 180 average, but he's got some flaws where he wants to improve. And I just, for the next 2 games after he left, I just did the drills that I was having him do just to get the ball out of my hand, no-step drill, little bit of 1-step drill, just to get my arm swinging in the right direction again. And again, just like I was following my own coaching advice and just taking it slow.
Yeah. I expect big things from you. I personally feel better about you being back on the proper side of the lane because when it comes to these challenges, there's going to be no excuse, too much of an excuse for you losing. I'm taking a page out of
I,
Aaron's book and talking trash early.
talking trash early.
No, I don't do it during, but no, I'm really happy that you're back on your comfortable side and being able to really, get back to it. And did you have any goals for yourself? I know they want you to probably take it slow, getting back into it, but you're
Yeah, I
in
mean,
2 leagues this season.
I'm in 3.5 plus tournaments. I'm in Mondays, Tuesdays. Mondays started. Monday starts September 9th. Tuesdays, I'm already 3 weeks in, and I haven't rolled the ball yet. Letting a sub come in. It's a pretty big league, so I didn't want to mess us up coming in injured, even left-handed like I did all summer. Fridays is my fun league with my wife and my kids and a bunch of my family and a lot of friends. So that one's going to be a little less pressure, and that one starts September 6th. But yeah, my goals kind of changed a little bit, just now feeling what it's like to have that reconstructed shoulder. Initially I was like, can I go another 230 year? And now I'm like, man, I hope I get to 220, just the way it feels now, and everybody tells me it'll get better, but right now it's different.
No, we have some shout outs. Hey, Miss Keita. Hey, Kevin Betty. I think you're going to have, what was that? Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I don't know if you remember this movie a long time ago. Can't remember the name of the movie, but I think you remember it if I say the premise of it, where the kid who went to a baseball game or was at a baseball game, he slipped
Yeah.
and hurt his shoulder and ended up having
Yeah.
a stupid strong arm for a baseball game. I'm
Yeah.
seeing that. I'm seeing 230 plus, if not more, uh, for you this season. I see you actually probably dominating pretty strongly because I find that when you take a break from something for a while, when you come back to it, you're just like that much more on it. So I think you're just going to be killing it starting off, uh, being back right-handed and being able to be yourself and being able to do things that you know how to adjust and do because you've taken a step back and you've taken it. You also got experience doing it left-handed. So it's
Yep.
like you kind of can take some of that knowledge, kind of flip it to the right side too if you see something similar. No, I mean you learn something, and as long as we learn something, we're going
Yeah.
to be able to use it in some type of way.
The things we take for granted with our dominant hand is unbelievable. I don't think about a lot of things. I just do things, and then I'm trying with my left hand, and it's all like in another language, and I'm trying to translate from one to the other, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I can't seem to get there. But then on the flip side, it is making me realize how many things I could work on to be better at with my right hand, like you said,
Mm,
to maybe take that next step and continue on where I'm headed. So we'll see. Time will
yeah.
tell.
As far as me, goals, have they changed from the summer? Um, I can't say really that they have changed. My goal is always the same: try to be the best that I can be. So I can't really say it's changed. But what have I learned over this past summer season? Well, got in Thursday nights, got some more of the crazy shots. Last night was a woo.
Oh
Last night
yeah.
was a doozy.
I saw you
Um,
said you were high in the whole house or something
I was
like
high
that.
in the entire house. So, well, I went back and double checked. I was third high. Someone else shot 634, no, 637. That was a 700 and like a high six. No, but it was it was completely different, and I'm learning as the summer went on and going into the season, I should just bring everything with me as far as
Bring
a
the
ball
house.
for yeah, for this house, but a ball for each shape. A ball that can cover this basis, cover that basis, cover this basis. Because normally I just bring what I know works. And I'm going into a new house this season. I'm not going, well, not new, but it's been a while since I bowled there. It's on Air Force Base, Gaudy Lanes. I won't be going back to Cyprus for a
Mhm.
minute because I don't like the inconsistencies. But I can't say I learned from the inconsistencies to and from national to this combination over the summer is just bring what you know will work, bring something for every situation. And I did that last night, and I mean, I threw the ball went 47 feet and didn't hook. I mean, you gave it three, not even three, 1.5 boards of angle. It was not coming back at all. And
That's
I
tough
was
when
like,
you've got no right and left.
no, it was literally taken away. And if I didn't know how to bowl straight, I would have been even more hurt because I would have known what to do. I mean, I literally had to move right. I think I was standing on 17, just playing between second and third arrow and slow rolling the ball as straight as I can with no angle and allowing it to walk into the pocket. And I did decent. So I
Yeah,
did really well, even with the equipment that I had, but at least I had a ball that was strong enough to cope with the oil. And
sure.
that's what I was kind of proud of myself for. It was like, okay, at least I expected, okay, this week it might be heavy. And I didn't expect it to be like that, but at least I had a
Yeah,
ball that would move. No, some aspect, and I was like, okay, so wherever I go, this is just what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring a ball for every shape. I mean, they say it on YouTube. The pros say it. Bring something for every shape. No, because you don't know what
yeah,
you're going to run into, and especially when you're going into tournaments, that makes a lot of sense. No, it's kind of weird when you go into a house and it's a league, and you have to think like that going into league because league is normally week to week, same thing. You just come out. There may be some change. It might be a few factors and variables that
hmm
change things here and there, but overall, it's like it's the same. No, it's maybe you might be 3 boards left this week. This week, next week, you might be 3 boards, which are kind of in the same area. For me to be in a house where every week you had no idea what was in there, it
yeah.
really taught me being the last night. Just bring something for every shape.
Something.
Don't
Yeah,
look at what's my favorite, would use your best. It's like bring everything for every shape. And I
yeah.
literally
Five,
brought
5, 6
five.
balls should be good. Yeah,
Yeah, five, six. Well, at least I brought five total. No, six. My spare ball is one.
yeah,
You have to have that. And I had my Hellcat, which was my strongest. My hitter, which was like a step down. I had the Scorpion low flare, which is like medium. My power torque, and I had the violent collision. And from there, I was just like, okay, at least I know I have a strong solid, a strong pearl, and those shapes kind of worked. And I was like, all right,
yeah.
let me find something that works. And I wasn't ill prepared. A few weeks ago, I probably would have brought something thinking, oh, I was gonna just brought my low flare and thought I could have did it. Nah, low
Oh yeah,
flare was not doing it.
you were talking highly of the low flare last week. I know that's a good ball too.
Oh, it's a really, really good ball. I'm not shocked, but the best part about it is I didn't get it re-drilled. I just got a thumb put in it. And I think that part of the reason why it worked so well was because the ball belonged to my friend Peyton, who's a two-hander.
Okay. Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Peyton.
yeah, so I just looked at it. I liked where the position and everything was, and I just told my PSO, put a thumb in it. Don't re-drill it because just put a thumb in it. I've had some issues with layouts and not exactly being exactly what I want. I said, just put a thumb, and that ball rolled great. It rolled absolutely phenomenal. I'm not sad that I couldn't use it last night because it just wasn't for it.
Sure.
No, even my PSO said he had to. It's not it wasn't sanctioned, but he had to go back and put 500 on his sensor solid and then throw the ball. And I'm like, that's how you know it was completely different. But from
Yeah.
summer to fall, my goal really is just to keep my mind open. No, to keep my mind open to what's out there, what am I seeing, and have not a ball, a tool for every situation that I know how to handle. That's based off of what I'm seeing on the lanes, and that alone helps you be on the next level because you're not being favorite to partial to a particular thing. You're looking at it
Yeah.
from an objective point of view. Okay, this is what it's giving me. This is my tool that I can go to.
Yeah, well, I like what you were saying too. Not a specific ball, but bringing something with each shape. Having something that shapes early, continuous, having something smooth, having something angular if the conditions call for that. Having a little bit of something of each shape is probably more important than any specific brand or ball or whatever. You got to have
Oh yeah.
all of the different tools, like you said.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the Hellcat. I had the wrong Hellcat, even though it worked. The one that I should have brought with me was the pin up one. That one would have been absolutely perfect for last night.
Yeah.
But the Hellcat was still strong enough to cut through with the surface, and it was smooth enough with the angle I was playing. So I made it work. I made it work.
Yeah.
But then, summer leagues altogether, with bowling left-handed, what do you think you can take from that? Like, what specific things stuck out the most from bowling summer league left-handed do you think you can take and bring?
Uh, First and foremost, I'd say humbleness. Just especially going into my first full season of coaching, understanding that people are going to struggle, even someone like me who has been bowling a long time at a pretty high level. All of a sudden, I was very normal and very, pedestrian at what I was doing, and a humble attitude, maybe a little bit. It definitely brought me down a little, and all the basics, all the way from being able to use your balance hand, which I wasn't able to do at the start because I was in a sling, following through, balance at the line. I was so uncoordinated in the beginning. I think the most important stuff I'm taking from my left-handed experience over the summer is really the basics and the little things, again, that I said before we take for granted as a right-hander, and we just kind of do them, but we don't really practice the craft. I think it gives me a better appreciation for those finer details that are really just basics, even though, we just do them naturally. So
That's true. I had a gentleman on my team last night who, same situation, but we were born on the same lanes. He's on my team, and he was like, "Man, I can't do anything." He was literally like this close to just giving up and saying, "To hell with tonight. I'm not worried about it." And I'm like, "Well, what's really going on?" He's like, I just can't. Like, I can't swing the ball out because he's a belly type bowler where he gets that smooth arc and it comes in not exactly really sharp, but it's strong. And he just didn't
continuous.
have that. It's very continuous. And he just was like, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." And for me, from the summers, I'm taking is listening to myself as far as coaching, because I kind of don't listen to myself, but then I give people advice and it works for them, and then I wonder, well, damn, why did I even think about doing that? And
Yeah, we are our own worst enemies sometimes because we don't listen to ourselves.
Yes, and I've learned that in the last few weeks. I've coached my teammates for just the first couple times. I'm like, okay, and I was like, told him last night, just step up. And he was like, what? Like, he was completely baffled. Like, what is step up? I said, just listen. Like, if you step up on a lane, you're going to force yourself to slow down. It's like, as long as you keep the same rhythm of your approach, you should be able to do it just fine. It's going to cause you to slow down, and then you're going to score. And the most impressive thing was, because this guy, he's bowled with bowlers who are on higher caliber levels with me, and he actually listened and did it and started to score on pace with what I was doing. And then we won the set, but he really was like, "I'm struggling. I'm uncomfortable as hell. I'm telling you right now, but I'm going to continue to do it," because he saw results. He was like, "This is working." And he was blown. His mind was blown. Was like, I didn't think something as simple as stepping up a half a step would take me from scoring 120 the first game to scoring over 200 the last two games. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "I truly thank you for just saying that to me." And then on the team, it was like, "Man," he was like, you really know what you're talking about. Like, no, I wish somebody else would not just be about themselves and just give us this simple advice on how to help each other out and help the team be better." And that happens a lot. It was weird that it does happen, but you'll have a high caliber bowler and they'll be on a team with some people and their team will struggle and they won't say not a word.
Mm-mm.
They won't say
they're
not
just
one
focused
word.
on what they're doing, and they kind of let everything else go and fall where it is. I think that's just I don't know, a social. You and I are pretty social. I think we're outspoken and we're willing to share some of those things too, which I think comes along with the fact that we both want to be coaches. So,
Well, we both are coaches, technically.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Level
we
one.
are. I will say I'm really coming into mine. I'm not taking it too fast. I know you've coached like DJ Smooth. I know you coached him when he was younger
Yep.
and whatnot.
He's in the live right now. What's up, DJ?
Yeah, I haven't had as much of some of that background as you have. I didn't really coach bowling. I coached wrestling, I coached baseball, I coached football. So I had coaching background, but you know, I keep getting asked to coach the high school team here already, just coaching with the juniors over the summer. And I told Angela, I was like, I'm not ready for that yet. I want to get a season of fall under my belt,
Hmm.
really coaching these younger kids that are, pre-high school. Some of them are early high school too. But it's really coaching my teammates, like you were just saying, is going a long ways too. And then, David came to me and said, listen, I want you to coach me. I'll pay you. I said, well, I'm not going to charge you right now. I said, you're my first adult that's asked me to coach them. So this one's on me. Let's see what happens. So,
Yeah. We
but
had a few comments. T1728 said that that's the way he was taught, was to help everyone, no matter if you were on the same team or not. Now, don't get me wrong. I help my teammates. But if you're on another team and you winning, I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm going to let you do what you
oh,
do. But if you're struggling, it's like,
yeah,
if we're winning by a large margin, then I will say something to the other team, whoever's struggling. But if it's close, I'm not saying nothing.
yeah,
I'm so because it's a competition at the end of the day. I'm going to
yeah,
be honest. In that moment, I'm not helping you because you're public enemy number one right now. I'm not going to give you any advice to try to help you beat me. I'm trying to get an advantage on you. Now, if we're up by 200 pins the last game, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you
yeah.
everything.
The last game
We have
only.
room. Yeah, no, I'm not going to help you out. No.
Poor
We had another
David.
comment. Murphy Slim said, Cypress Lanes isn't that hard. You wasn't there last night. You wasn't there last night. Last night was a doozy, let me tell you. You could not, and if you like to hook the ball, yeah, that wasn't happening. Literally, if we once against the 10 board down lane, the ball kept going. So
I
Cypress
got
Lanes is inconsistent. They're not. It's
I
not
got
a
a
hard house. It's inconsistent.
actually caught
And DJ
I caught a
said,
question here too.
okay, what's the
Uh,
question?
I mean, he's got a long name here. For HKD. He says he'll be entering his first league this fall and wants to know if receiver gloves are okay to use during play. I've seen plenty of people
Oh,
just cut the fingertips off of receiver gloves. I don't see anything that would bar that.
literally the same thing as a
Yeah,
bowling glove. They
yeah,
just the fingers are missing. That's it. The tip of the fingers, so you can grab the ball. But I will say, be careful of that because if you like to hook the ball, I've tried one of those gloves once, and I already have a 500 rev rate when I really want to get into it.
mm,
That thing, yeah. It's best to have natural feel than rely on tools because the tools, like with gloves and the wristbands and all that stuff, they help, but they also limit know what you can do. And muscle memory is always the best teacher to be good at your release and be consistent because once you get consistent with the glove, if you ever lose that glove and you're stuck, oh no, what can I do? I can't get the revs on it because I don't have the gloves. You really don't need the glove. But
yeah.
if you
He
have to have the glove,
he just mentioned that he uses no holes. I have seen a couple of people now, like that kid that I sent you the video of,
I
that actually
remember.
releases the ball without any holes, like any fingers in a hole. Uh,
I
I,
don't know if that's
I'm
legal. Is that legal?
it, it is, it is legal from what I heard. Even that kid bowls in a lot of our adult tournaments now. He does have two finger holes, but he puts his right fingers in there just
Oh
for the
yeah,
pullback. I
I've
sent you
seen
that one,
that. Yeah.
and then as his right hand comes out, he is letting go completely with no holes on his left hand, and that's his release hand.
Well, if
He is so
that's what you're
good too.
doing, yeah.
I don't know, man.
You
It's
must have
crazy to watch.
for him to be for him to ask about receiver gloves and then say he doesn't use any holes. You it must be a really big person. You must be at least 6'6" and probably have a huge hand to do that. So yeah, if you're
Womp.
not, yeah, if you're that person and yeah, you're not using any holes, then I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to have a glove because there's nothing else gripping the ball but
Yeah.
the glove. So that makes sense. That makes sense. DJ Smooth, he said he's been coaching as well. And Murphy Slim responded, said, "You're right there. They are very inconsistent. Both they're 3 years old. It's something about the Cypress Lands. Yeah, they're very, very inconsistent house.
Yeah.
But practice. Did you practice any over the summer?
All like as much as possible. I bought a summer pass they offered here from the Bolero House. Gave us 2 free games a day, especially being that I was going left-handed and I wanted to put as many games in as I could along with league. I practiced every day that I had the chance. Probably, I'll bet I put more practice in this summer with my left hand than I've put in with my right hand over the last 5 years. Again, I
Oh,
just took everything for granted with my right hand. Left hand being brand new, I put in a lot of time. And again, it made me realize how many things I need to work on with my right hand. And I really need to get in the lanes and practice with my right hand as well.
yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't practice.
Yeah.
This league was my practice.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I will be, I'm working from home now, so I probably will be practicing more during the wintertime, especially on base where I can get in and there's not a lot of crowd going to the base bowling alley and they have a pretty consistent shot. But one thing I can say that I was doing during league was I was working on hand positions that I've not used in years, methods that I've not used in years. And throughout this summer, I might not have bowled sports shot league like I normally do, but I think I've learned a lot equally this season too because I did go to nationals. But this hand positions, I have three now that I could use pretty consistently, and they give me three different reactions on a lane with one ball. So again, back to the coaching and coaching myself is like, okay, last night I went to I was doing my normal release as far as just coming off the ball, letting it roll off, and then with all the oil, I said, okay, well, put more hand in it. It's like before I wouldn't have done that. I was trying to force
Yep.
the other release. And then as I kept going right, and I saw that that was too much, then I was like, okay, well, let me switch back to this release because it's going to make it smoother. So being able to take those things and use it in the heat of battle while you're bowling, trying to
Yeah.
compete, that's a step up where I knew I wasn't about 4 weeks ago, where I would stick to one thing and it's like, okay, let me just adjust. Knowing what I'm seeing, I know what I'm seeing and know what I need to do, but then just not coaching myself into a better situation.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. I would take from this summer was practicing the mental game, and I guess and keeping myself under control to where if I see a situation, how can I analyze it as quickly as possible and get myself out of a hole before it gets too bad.
Yeah. Speaking of nationals, we may as well just move right in. Baton Rouge coming up next year.
Yes.
What uh,
Baton
what do
Rouge.
you expect to do better and differently after your first time in the nationals tournament?
Man, I think next year I'm going to do a whole lot better. One, I know I've learned better adjustments as far as who I'm bowling with. Uh, but my first set, it wasn't bad. It was the second and third set because I was just put in a situation that I didn't know. And it was like, okay, now that I know that, I think I'm better prepared to go into it next year. Now, it won't be Vegas or Reno, which I want to go to Reno too because I've never been to Reno. But I think I'm gonna do a whole lot better. At least I'm gonna say at least 200 to 300 pans better than what I did because I shot overall I think five or that's 9, 13. I shot like 13, 14. So I could see myself getting to a 1600 mark, whereas in the 9 games that's still at least 200 below because even would be 1800. So I see myself getting to 1600, if not 17, not too far below even. No,
Yeah.
and then from there just get it up
Continue
and
to
up
get
and up.
better. My
Yeah.
my goal next year is to go to nationals since I didn't get to go this year.
Yes, it is
I
down
will get
here
back
in
on the
good old
lanes.
South. We
Yeah,
waiting
I'll
for
be
y'all.
down there in your neck of the woods.
Yep, we're gonna get it together. And those of y'all who aren't alive, Stream will be putting out a post very soon to get interest in who wants to build teams with the Stream name on it to go to nationals in Baton Rouge. And if y'all are interested, there will be a post coming up soon so we can start getting names, start getting this paperwork in, and start getting it done early so we're not rushing and
Scrambling.
scrambling at the last minute.
I
Um,
think I think Baton Rouge we could get a couple of teams, but I think the real push is going to be the following year when, again,
Reno,
like
yeah,
I'm already on a team and I'm trying to get you in to come with us and a couple other people. But I think the following year, which is Vegas again, right?
no
Or is it
Reno.
Reno? Yeah, I think Reno is the one that I'd like to see Stream really make a big push.
Oh yeah,
Even bringing the two teams that I go with, bringing them under the Stream banner, a couple other people I know, maybe getting us all together and get that banner up on the wall like you were talking, where we're really
yeah.
putting a name out for us.
I predict by that time, hopefully, Stream has over 3,000 people in it.
Yeah,
And I mean, this first challenge we got almost 100 people. 100 people. We
it's
normally
only
average.
yeah, it's only been out for a
It,
day. What'd you say?
it,
4 hours, 50 something people.
yeah, it was 50 people in 4 hours.
Yeah,
And then it's slowed down, but to get that type of interest in less than 2 days is amazing. And we appreciate y'all for
yeah.
showing us love and wanting to participate. So definitely look out for more challenges. This one hasn't started yet, but it will be starting soon. Murphy Slim asked the question about Ron Bean still bowling down there. Very good old school bowler. I don't know who Ron Benet is. I'm sorry. DJ said we could do Reno together. We plan on doing all. I want to have 10 teams for Reno,
Yeah.
at
I don't
least.
I don't
And
think
well,
that's
at
out of the
most,
realm. I think 10
at
is
most 10
a
teams.
yeah. 10 is a good number, I think, for Reno. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't have 10 teams by Reno.
Yeah. So I definitely think DJ Smooth 10 will be definitely a number we'll hit for Reno, and then I think it's back to Vegas
Vegas
the
and
year
then South
after.
Carolina.
Yeah, to South
Yeah.
Carolina, which that's going to be interesting. I want to go to that one too.
That'll be a new state for me. I have not bowled in South Carolina.
Neither have I. I have not bowled anywhere on the East Coast,
Yeah.
so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Uh, Now, Pro Shop Life, that was one of our good episodes. We have all good episodes, but that one was really fun with
Yeah, I
Shane.
like that one.
And from that, we shot him out in our local pro shops, and the importance of having people who know how to get you right, as far as your equipment, your layouts, all that stuff is important if you want to compete at a high level.
Hmm.
I wish that my PSO may have paid a little bit more attention to some things, because he'll sometimes put bigger, finger grips in there, and I'm like, dude, my hand is not that big. Like,
Right.
I'm a big guy. I weigh 255, but my hand is not
Yeah.
the size of a linebacker. So like, I need
Yeah.
smaller fingers. Be small little things like that, and then the layout to be off just a little bit. I mean, I still make the stuff work. No, that's just a testament to me. But at the same time, it's like I kind of want things a certain way. No, so if you guys don't have a PSO, get one. Spend time talking to them, getting to know them.
Yeah.
Uh, what would
They
you take? What was your take on the PSO Pro Shop Live
those
thing?
those guys are the guys that can make or break your game, in my opinion. You know, we talked to Alana, and I know that our guy Corey here, he moved, and we talked a little bit about whether she should go ahead and make that drive down there with to have him drill her stuff, who she was very comfortable with. I think the importance of those local guys that can watch you bowl, see your
Yeah.
game, understand your style, your technique, and what will and won't work for you. I think a lot of people overlook that, and they think every drill's the same. Jay Shane really
He
made
knows
good
his
points
stuff.
with the fact that you just don't understand how much they know, because they're doing it all the time, day
Mhm.
in, day out, with different bowlers, right hand, left hand, strokers, crankers, down and in, big snappers, speed rev, dominant. They know all of those things. Why wouldn't you spend some time with them? They're the guy right there in your bowling alley that is watching you do what you do. It
Yeah.
takes the play. There's no video that you can put out to send to anybody that's going to take the place of somebody's eyes right on you.
Hmm. Yeah, because a coach, especially a PSO, could pick up, especially a good one, can pick up on subtle nuances that you do, little things that might affect ball roll, might affect the way you have your reaction, and they can fix those things. But then overall, if it's a habit that you can't break, can do some things with the equipment you're trying to buy to make it roll more consistently for you. You know, It's some PSOs don't do that. Some of them just they'll give you a ball and say, okay, here you go, and be done with it. I'm not a PSO, but I had the team we was bowling against last night. He asked me a question because he heard me giving my teammates coaching. He said, hey, I wonder, he has a phase 2 and an IQ tour Ruby. He said, I have these two balls. They're supposed to be different, but they both roll exactly the same. And I was like, well, that's because your phase 2 is shiny. He said, well, I didn't put polish on it. I said, no, but you haven't cleaned it in a while, haven't you? He was like, no.
Got lane
And
shine.
like, it's lane shine, right? So look at it. He was like, yeah. And I'm like, it's shiny. And this is shiny. It's like, well, this is supposed to be shiny. This one's not. Like, if you take this back down to a surface finish, which is dull, you'll see a difference then. And I just explained to him that your surface maintenance is important to how the ball rolls. Like, with that ball being shiny, being shined up, it's going to roll just like your IQ Tour,
Yep.
Ruby. And then you're not going to see a difference. And now you're wondering, why am I doing this with two different balls? Why do I even have this ball? When really it's just something as simple as just change the surface. Get it cleaned up.
Yeah. So if you get my advice is if you've got a good PSO, like you were saying, who's looking out for you, I'm with Bowler Depot. I'm not really staffed with them, but they take such good care of me. I will shout them out every chance I get because they are taking that extra step and watching what I'm doing, even if I'm not asking them. If I'm bowling on one night and one of them is walking down the lane and they see my score, maybe it doesn't look quite right, maybe they see that I'm mentally struggling, immediately they're stopping, looking, hey, have you tried this? Sometimes it helps me and it's just down the road I go. If you get a good PSO, guys, take care of them, shout them out to your friends, whatever, because it's worth every single penny of what you spend in their shop if they're a good one.
Yeah, that's facts right there. Now, staying consistent. We got a long season ahead.
Don't do what Josh does. He's too. Just kidding, Josh. Just kidding, Josh. I'm not gonna lie. He threw me off so bad when he said, "I don't do anything. I just walk in and I throw the ball."
I wish, I truly wish that it was that simple. There was a guy bowling against last night on the oil that we had out there throwing the plastic ball. The plastic ball was hooking and hitting the pocket and carrying. And I just looked at my teammate and I said, now, if I go grab my plastic ball and do the same thing, it won't even react the same. It's like, it's funny the amount of things you can do when you don't think about it, when you just bowling. And it's impressive that, this guy wasn't nowhere as good as Josh. Josh last week just shot 7 or something. And it was like effortless. It's like, some people have a natural talent at this game. And it's like, if their knowledge was really up there with what they were doing, they probably would just dominate the profession. But it's just like a block right there. Say, no, I don't want to know. Just let me bowl. And that's fine. Because it works. I can't complain. I wish I could get out of my head and be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to throw the ball. And if it doesn't do this, I'm going to do this. And
it
works.
It just hits me with the next topic we're going to talk about anyway, because I love giving Josh so much grief. He's probably one of my favorite guys to harass because he harasses me right back, and we just kind of push each other. So he knows it's all love. But yeah, I had to just mention the fact that he threw me off. I don't know about you, but we tried to start asking that very first question, and it was ad lib from that point forward because he just doesn't have anything in his head.
Yeah, that episode was for y'all in the audience. That was completely off the dome. Yep. None of the questions we had worked. It was like,
what?
It's like, It's like we had to really start coming up with some interesting things, but it showed. Just like adapting on the lanes, we were able to adapt to that particular episode and make an episode out of it. So it was like, okay, we're going to go off the dome here. So let's go. The good thing was I didn't have to say anything to you. We just kind of knew. Yeah. So it was like we just went in with it. So that was fun. That was fun. And the last episode.
It was a fun episode. I enjoyed it quite a bit, honestly, having to just think on my feet and come up with other things to ask him.
Yeah. That was truly fun. I feel like he's not going to be the only one. We're going to have some other guests that might be just like that. They just don't have much to say. And nothing wrong with that because some people are just quiet.
Yeah, and like you said, he's got a natural talent. So, some people are like that, and they roll the ball, they see the motion. Yeah, that'll work. and away they go.
Yeah, I wish. No, is this? Did some people talk less, and then some people talk more, like Elena and Aaron. Boy, them two can talk.
Yes,
Trash
sir.
talkers, anonymous. They should go to because they give it to everybody. They
Yep.
give it to everybody. I mean, we already have a thing going with Aaron. If y'all don't know, he's challenged all the admin streams. He's gonna beat us all.
And I got one coming from Aaron. I promise you, Aaron, you're gonna owe me. I got a couple on the wall now. I plan to add to some of them, and he's gonna be one of the first.
We're gonna do pink slips.
Yeah,
Give up your ball.
yeah, I
I'll
like
vote for
it.
your ball. I'll take your ball. Like you gotta send
Yeah,
it to me if I win. That's what we're gonna start doing. We're gonna do pink slips from bowling. It's like, yeah, you give up your stuff and gotta send it to me.
yep. That's
I
why I
bet you
asked for the
people
chamois. Derek sent me one recently, and I could tell it's one that he was using, and he signed it and sent it. So,
see, and I never got one from him.
oh, you definitely want to get one.
I didn't ask for one from Derek. I confused Derek with
Yeah.
Corey. I don't know why I thought Corey.
Oh,
Corey
Corey, you didn't get because I pushed the issue with Corey. He was running his mouth that day, and in our trash talking episode, like I said, I like it. I like when somebody comes in with some confidence and they want to talk about it, because then I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to tell you that I'm just as confident as you are.
Mhm.
And for the record, I got the chamois.
You got proof.
I got
Like
proof.
I won that day.
Yeah.
No. That's gonna be a fun season. I truly think about it now with projects that we got going on. I know you're getting a lot of string stuff taken care of, designing jerseys stuff.
I don't
All
have
types of
any.
stuff.
I don't have any down here with me, or I'd show one off. I know I've got a bunch of them over to the lady that does the pressing of the logos and stuff. But I've got a bunch of stream stuff coming, guys. Like it's
Yeah.
it's on its
And we're
way.
gonna start posting that in the page so y'all can get access to it, buy it, have it shipped to your guys' house. No, we're gonna turn this into something huge. People are gonna know what stream is by the time of this year ending.
And some of
With
it,
me, I got Team BA tasks I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create a Senate down here on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. I've already got interest from loads of people, so it's just getting their names down, sending it in, getting the people I need, and then next season create the Senate because
yep.
it's already too late. It's too much to do in a short little time for me to try to do it now. But next year, look out for the Gulf Coast, Mississippi Gulf Coast Senate, no, for TNBA. And that's going to be coming up in a couple of episodes too. We're going to be talking about TNBA because a lot of people don't know about it, and even though it's been around since 1939.
When you and I started talking, I didn't know about it. I remember you asking me about it, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And now,
It's
I've seen a lot more about it. So
Oh, it's definitely fun. We got to do teams for that too. But the most fun part about this episode, we're going to talk about what balls we think are going to work for the new season. So
I forgot my
we have 6
notes,
total.
but I got it off the top of my head, I think.
7. I have 7. I have an honorable mention for the house.
Holy cow.
I have 3 for house, 3 for sport. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with sport or you want to start with house?
I think we'll finish with house because I think most people are going to be bowling on house. So if we start with the sports stuff and then finish with the house, they're going to remember those house balls. And I think there's a couple of them coming out that'll really be house killers.
Awesome. Well, I'll start off with my number 3. For sport, my number 3, I think is going to be that Brunswick Mesmerize. I've seen a lot of video on it. Looking at the numbers, it's got a 2.51 RG, over 0.056 diff with a 0.017 intermediate diff, which are really good numbers. But that 2.51 it's medium. It's almost like a dull, newer Black Widow, almost. No, Black Widow's diff is 0.058. This is like right below it. That's marginal difference, but I really see this ball really being something for Brunswick that I think we're going to see a lot of it on the tour in the TV show, or we're probably going to hear a lot about it. That's my 3rd pick for Sports Shot. What was your 3rd for sport?
I mean, you're going to probably, it's not a new release. My 3rd pick to talk about for sport is the importance of a spare ball honestly. I had that in my notes. I talked to so many people, and one of the kids that was in our Bowler Depot juniors that doesn't use a spare ball, and they rely 100% on 10 pins, flatten their wrist out, and they hook at everything on the left. My one of my most important pieces to talk about is how important a spare ball is that doesn't hook on sport patterns.
Yes.
I beat that into everybody's head every single chance that I get, and everybody always fights me on it. No, I'm going to hook at the left, or if I'm a lefty, I'm going to hook at the right. Guys, you don't understand what those lane conditions can do to you. If you're going to buy anything, buy a spare ball if you don't already have one. If
Yeah.
you're going to be bowling on sport, especially. It helps on house, but it is imperative on sport.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest ones.
That's a good third pick. Spare balls are very important. Spare balls save scores on how sports shots. They save your score a lot. Hooking at stuff on sport is definitely a no-no.
Yeah,
Unless
I mean, you could
know
get away with it a little.
Unless you know you can get it, I wouldn't recommend hooking. I mean, I even use my strike ball for left side spares, unless it's the 7 pin. Then I'll throw a spare ball at it, as I know it won't hook. But like, I'll even throw my strike ball straight onto the
Yeah,
left side with little hook. So if I do miss it right, it'll still hook a little bit to it. But as far as
yeah,
like hooking the lane, yeah, no, that's a ixnay on. That's a flag on the play. Hooking at
yep,
spares on sport. So
absolutely. And that's always going to be something I talk about anytime we bring up sport. It just is what it is, and if you don't
you got to
believe
have a
it,
spare ball.
yeah, if you don't believe it, you haven't been on sport that much.
I mean, true, because I changed my mind for nationals. I wasn't going to bring my spare balls. I'm going to use my urethane ball, and then I really thought about it. I said because I tried it in house. I missed a lot of 10 pins, and I was like, let me go ahead and bring my spare ball because I know I won't miss it then. And sure enough, I didn't miss not a single 10 pin at
Yeah,
nationals. I made every single one.
I'm gonna bring it up every
Really.
time somebody asks me about it.
So, what's your number two? What's your number two ball for sport?
My number two ball, because I've never actually had one, is I'm a Brunswick guy, hammer guy. The Black Pearl. I watched a lot of guys do a lot of things with that urethane on the
Oh,
shorter patterns.
yeah.
It's been out for a little while now. It's new to the summer, I guess, early summer even. But yeah, it's something I don't have and I've never had. I've never actually picked up a true urethane. I tried the new blue, not impressed. Drilled it from my
Mhm.
left hand because I was never going to use it for my right. So I think whether it's the Black Pearl, the IQ 78, the Buffalo from Swag, I think for me, one of the balls that I'm looking to get is a good urethane, which the Black Pearl is the newest line, basically taking over for the GOAT, the Purple Hammer. So
Yeah, I watched it in action. It's pretty impressive.
yeah,
It's pretty
so
impressive. I can't down talk it at all. It's a pretty impressive ball for what it is.
yeah,
My number two is the Storm Ascent. Yeah, I went SPI on you.
I
I
knew.
went SPI on
I
you.
figured one of us had to go outside of the Brunswick lines.
Yeah, the Summit Ascent. I've been watching that ball. Storm does have a lot of equipment that does work pretty well on sport, and that Summit Ascent, the Summit original Summit was garbage. A lot of people threw it. I've watched it time and time again, and it just isn't a very consistent ball for a lot of situations. It's a very niche ball.
Mhm.
And then the Summit Peak, again, I think is kind of the same thing. You never really heard too much about it, just that they had a Pearl version. The Summit original, the OG, was a hybrid. And this ball, though, I've watched the hype throw it. I've watched numerous other YouTube people throw it, and it's it's screaming. We're gonna probably see it on some shows. Like we haven't seen Belmo at all last year too much, so he might be coming back with this ball. I don't know.
Right.
It's very it's very smooth, but it's also got that nice back end on the back. So I really think that that ball is going to be great on sports shots. I just got a feeling about it. No, the hazmat solid is very similar, but I just get a feeling that this summit ascent is going to be pretty good on sport. And we got a question about the new blue. Miss Kita, she asked, was that particular ball, the new blue, an option for sport shots? Yes, on shorter patterns. Um,
Yeah. Uh, I
the
know a lot
thing
of
is,
people. Yeah. Go
your
ahead. Go ahead.
thing, and he doesn't like it. Him and Josh hate that ball because Josh has the same thing. He said, "I hate that ball," and Josh has a lot of hand. It is a very niche ball. Niche meaning particular situation. Some people can make it work, and a lot of times it's when you slow roll it and put a lot of hand into it. It kind of works that way. Lance, he does that, and that's how he gets his to move. He slow rolls it. In all honesty, if you have to slow roll a ball to get it to hook, that ain't the ball you're really supposed to be using.
Yeah.
That's just being honest. Because if you have to do all that, and I've ran into that with urethane. Urethane is not always the option too on all things. If you have to slow roll it just to get it to move and get it to hook, no matter how consistent you're doing it, that ain't really the ball you're supposed to be using. You're changing a lot to make it work. So it'll work on sport, but you also have to look at the fact of how much energy you put into it. If you have a lot of hand, yeah, it'll work. If you don't, you're probably going to still struggle with it because on shorter patterns, the heads are oiled a lot heavier than on longer patterns. So it's going to seem like it's skidding way, way down the lane if you don't have a lot of hand to get it to move. Which brings me to my number one, which is a brand new announcement by SPI again, because Brunswick hasn't really released anything or that really caught my eye for sport, is the new Ion Max.
Okay.
They had the Ion Pro, which came out a few months ago. Now it's the Ion Max, which has a slightly stronger core and cover combination. That ball looks like it's probably going to be a comeback for Storm. I think they're kind of focusing on tour shapes and tour dynamics type balls that they're coming out with because the fact that they just kind of did a solid version of the Ion Pro, it's like, I see where they're going. I think that's probably going to be pretty good on sport. Only saying that true because they just came out with it this past summer. A lot of the stuff that Brunswick came out with and Motive came out with, a lot of them are house shot killers. I haven't really seen any sports shot balls. What is your number one pick?
Probably completely off my rocker. I'm going with the max bias, and I know you and I have talked about that one for
I can see that
sport.
being for heavy,
For
really
heavy,
smooth, really smooth.
yeah, for heavier oil, longer patterns, and I don't have any. I don't have one yet, but that is the one I'm going to go with. Had some people try to talk me out of it to the Black Widow 3.0. Tried to
Nah,
talk me into the Envy Tour, which I know is a really good ball. For
but it's
me,
not
though,
max bias.
no.
It's
The
really smooth.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing with the max bias is that sanded hybrid is going to help me specifically. I'm kind of in between. I'm not going to go with Rev challenged at this point. I'm kind of in
Yeah,
between.
that's a joke.
I know
You're
it is,
tweener.
but I think that cover stock, the core 294050, I mean, that it matches a lot of those other balls, but the intermediate diff of 030, I've only seen two balls that have that big of an intermediate diff that's going to really like just flip that core over. And I
Yeah,
think I think that one is going to be a sleeper, at least for me, for sure. It's going to be my pick to go on to those longer, heavier patterns. Whether I'm right, I don't know yet. I'll pick one up and the jury's out and I'll let you know. But what I
okay.
see on paper, I think that's going to be a sleeper that people just aren't picking up because it's radical. They
Yeah,
want to see the hammers and they want to see the storms and they want to see the motives. I just think this might be the sleeper ball that's going to get through that oil, especially someone around my caliber, and help me get the ball around the corner down late.
yeah. I truly think that's going to be. I agree that's a sleeper. Um, I have a conspiracy, and I've thrown it on sport. It works.
Yeah, the conspiracy
It
solid was
works.
kind of what they were comparing it to, and then it's even
Yeah,
got that little bit of bigger
it's
intermediate
got
diff than
even
that.
bigger. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think on
the
sport
core
shots,
is huge.
you're going to kill with that ball on sport. I don't think that's a bad choice at all. I don't think, like, I agree with 100% what you're saying. A lot of people are not looking at it. And Black Widow 3.0 is not it. If you're
No,
looking for strong, heavy oil ball,
yeah, when somebody brought that up, I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going there.
yeah. So on to the house.
Nice, Sydney.
On to the house. So I have an honorable mention. It is the Hitter Pearl. That is my honorable mention. Reason being, I have the hitter. The shape that the hitter makes, the original, is a really wonderful shape. It gets down lane and booms off the back, but it's not like a crazy hard boom. Like it's just like a smooth and it just goes. The Pearl is just that much more snappier. And normally bowling balls like that are really good on house, really good on the cliff where you can get it to the right and once it's dry, it just takes off and goes left. That was my honorable mention, but the number 3 ball is the Hazmat Solid. I've watched it, I've looked at it, I've seen Robert Smith throw it, and I've seen numerous people throw it. It looks like it's going to be that heavier oil house shot killer. It looks like it's going to be. It's reminiscent of the Scandal. If you remember the Scandal Solid,
I do not.
It's very similar to that ball. Damn Good Average Bowler said that as well. And watching it, it does give me Scandal vibes, which the Scandal was not a bad ball by all means. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is going to be that track Tundra Blue Fire, or Fire Blue, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm on a symmetrical kick lately, just trying to get a little bit smoother motion versus the asymmetrical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely loved the Red Fire. They talked about it, and the Blue Fire has. I was kind of upset when it first came out because the core is obviously exactly the same. I was hoping for a little bit more, but they're saying now that new cover stock is just a little bit stronger on the back end, a little bit cleaner through the fronts, even than the Tundra Fire was, the red one. And I loved that Tundra Fire. I still have it sitting here. It still goes with me to any tournament play because it gives me a very, very good shape late in blocks. And the Tundra Fire Blue is going to be my number 3 for house.
Okay.
We
did have a couple other things. Miss Keita said, just real quick, because we're getting close to the end of our show. Miss Keita said she's in a divided house. She is diehard Hammer, which I know. She said her husband is diehard Radical. But you both are under the 7 brands of Brunswick. So technically you're different, but then you're together at the same time. Yeah. And I have Mercy Slim ask me, have I tried urethane in Cyprus? Had the successes there? No. I tried it once, it doesn't work. Urethane for me, it's been a while since I've thrown it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me at all. I am a very strange bowler. Some things that work for other people just doesn't work for me. But urethane in Cyprus is not the play, and it just technically makes the shot even worse because you have a lot of people that's throwing the ball all over the place. But on to my number 2 pick, Motive, Pride, Liberty. The Motive Pride red, white, and blue ball for Motive. That ball, it rolls to me. It rolls better than the Black Widow 2.0. Just the hybrid. Just watching it, I really like the shape. And only if it wasn't Motive, I would probably try it. But Motive is just expensive. Yeah. They just charge ridiculous prices for their bowling balls. But the Motive Pride, if I do get one now watching it, I've always been interested in the Pride series. But the Motive Pride Liberty, I think, is a really good ball. I like the numbers on it. It's very similar to my Prowler. So if I do get a Motive, that'll be it. What's the number 2 for you?
The Ion Pro. They say that it's going to be the predecessor. It's going to be the new Phase 2, and I know that you can't go wrong with the Phase 2. And like you said earlier, Storm does have some good products, as much as it chokes me up to speak of them sometimes. I rolled Storm forever, but from what I've seen from my buddy Adam Sikowski, who works at Bowler Depot, he's an up-and-coming junior, unbelievably good bowler. The Ion Pro looks like it very may well be the next phase 2 from Storm. There was rumors that they may phase out, pun intended, to phase 2, and the Ion Pro is the predecessor, is what the rumor was.
So they're gonna go with a ASAP benchmark now.
I don't know. That's kind of what I had heard from one of the guys that I was talking to with Storm. If it's
It's
true
all
or
Hammer's
not,
fault.
yeah,
It's Hammer's fault.
it is.
The Envy Tour is just too good.
The Envy
It's
Tour,
Hammer's fault.
and again, that was one of the other ones that I was told to maybe look at instead of the Max Bias, because the Envy Tour, I know DJ Smooth, he absolutely destroyed the lanes with that ball for a while.
Yeah.
The newer Envy Tour Pearl, that silver ball, man, that thing looks good. I've never rolled one, but the phase 2 again, I don't care who you are, you recognize the phase 2 as one of the balls that you've just seen for so long because it's been so good. If the Ion Pro really is the next predecessor to it and is going to be basically their next benchmark, you can't go away from that. That'd be something that I would probably look into.
Okay. And what about your number one?
Number 1, the Stealth Hybrid. Again, I'm on a hybrid kick. Like everything that I've touched.
Say the Stealth. I knew a trackball was going to be number one. I just knew it.
I am a track guy. He knows it. Everybody who talks to me knows it. The Stealth Solid was unbelievably good. The Pearl, I do have the Stealth Pearl. I took the polish off of it. It's very good, but I love my 2 hybrids already, the Paragon Hybrid and the Archetype Hybrid, so much that I have a lot of needs in my arsenal. That is my want. That I just want that ball because I think it's on house, especially. It's going to be so good. It's going to give you some control. It's also going to give you some miss room outside because I was watching some videos earlier today, and if you do miss outside, it's got all the recovery you could possibly ask for. If you do miss inside a little bit, it will hold a line on house, and it's going to still finish. So that's my number 1 for the house.
I can say this, and I'm saying this you can say this on the record. Track hybrids are pretty good when it comes to coming back. And that's just not saying anything. That's looking at the Archetype Hybrid. That's looking at the Stealth Hybrid. That's looking at the Theorem.
Yep, the Theorem is another one.
They're just, when it comes to, if you miss right and it's friction, they're making it back no matter what you say. They're coming back.
They will turn the corner. That Paragon, like I said, probably 2 of my favorite balls to get out of the Paragon Hybrid and now the Archetype Hybrid. So the hybrid cover stock by Track is easily becoming one of my favorite go-to balls.
Yeah, they have the hybrid figured out, I would say. Number 1 for me, it might be cliche, but from what I'm seeing, it's not bad, is the Vaporize from Brunswick. It's reminiscent. It's got the old Vapor Zone core in it, which was iconic back in the day. It's been redone with HK22 and that whatever
Everything
that
has HK22 now.
But now it also has that cohesion pearl in it that they got from the effect, which I have an effect. I haven't been able to really throw it for 3 games or 1 game. I don't know why, but this Vaporize looks pretty solid with the way it reacts. It's very smooth, but at the same time, it gets it when it gets to the back and goes through the pins very nicely, and it keeps the pins low and being able to mix up real good. It is just a really good looking ball. Then it's black. And know what they say about black bowling balls. They all roll good.
Yeah, that's what they said about the new Tundra Blue too. It just rolls better than the red. If it rolls better than the red, then I'm sold on the darker color.
Yeah, darker color. I mean, the Conspiracy Solid rolls good for me. My Hellcat's dark color ball, it rolls good for me. So there's some fact to it, but I think the Vaporize is a good ball for house. For most houses that have a consistent shot.
I just had somebody pipe in Hammer Effect Ball of the Year. I don't know if I'm sold on that.
Nah. it was hype because of the four colors and it was something new. But just like
Yeah.
everything else, nobody's really talking about the hammer effect anymore. No, even people that have done recent number top tens, the hype. He just did his top 10. The hammer effect wasn't even in it.
No,
It
I
wasn't
did
even in
just
it.
recently watch that actually today.
Yeah, it wasn't in his top 10, and that's for a lot of people to say. And then I've seen quite a few of them end up on eBay. So it's a very nice ball. It's strong, but it's for me it's niche. It's a niche, but you need some type of friction for it to come back. You can't just use it on anything and everything like everybody's been saying. No, it's not an everything situation ball. No, that's just coming from experience. I've thrown it on heavy oil, it just keeps sliding, and when there is friction, it hooks too much. It's got to have a specific situation. But that's pretty much it for us today. We do have a few questions. I do have Mosquito says she says move left, scoot up a bit. I'm not sure what she's saying that to. She said inventory is the ball. It is. It is a great ball. Uh, I was asked where did I bowl before Biloxi. Let's see. History. I was in Florida before I came here. Before Florida, I was in New Orleans. Before New Orleans, I was overseas in Europe. And so I have a pretty interesting background when it comes to bowling. What is also very true, he followed that up with, it's not about the ball, it's the bowler. That is very true, but also the right bowler with the right ball in their hand makes all the difference. You could be a great bowler, but if you got the wrong ball, it's going to show.
Yeah,
It's going to show. You can't make everything work with just one ball. Not these days. Back in the
one of
day,
the
yeah.
one of the guys I trust quite a bit around here, one of the PSO guys said the one thing you can't fix is ball motion. If you have bad ball motion coming out of your hand, there's no forcing it. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
You either need to get out of that ball or you're going to be in for a long day.
And the pros will tell you if it's not rolling right and you know you threw it right. No, and I got what she was saying. She was referring to the effect, scoot up. I've tried scooting up. I've tried scooting left. I've tried everything with the effect. You know what the effect is right now? It sits in my closet. It sits in my closet, and I look at it. This is a pretty ball.
I got a guy Carl in here, Jaded BMX, saying that we need a geek hybrid ball and a go time spare ball.
Hey, I'm for that because I don't miss 10 pins if I'm really on it. Like, if I miss a 10 pin, that's because I said it in my head, I'm about to miss this. And I literally will miss it.
Going to get us some name brand equipment going on. Somebody
Yeah,
asked about the Mesmerize.
What
I
about it?
didn't. I didn't look at that. He just asked, "How about the Mesmerize in our list of bowling balls?" I honestly didn't look at it that closely. I had kind of my mindset on a couple of other things. Do you know anything about the Mesmerize coming out?
It's got a brand new core in it. It's some core that they changed up and made different. It's like the Vapor Zone core, but a little more updated. It's got the Dynamic Core 2.0 in it, not the regular Dynamic Core, and of course it has dot technology and it has I think HK22 surface. I know it's a solid. From what I've seen, it is very reminiscent of a very strong. It's from what I can see, it's better than the Black Widow 3.0. There, I said it. It rolls better. It rolls much more consistent and is not very situational. I've seen from the videos I've seen and people I've seen bowling with it, it reacts consistent most of the time. And then they have some type of technology in it to where it doesn't shine up as quick. I'm not sure what that is. I got to research that a little bit more. But it's from what I'm seeing online on the videos I've seen it on. It's gonna be a ball that we're probably gonna see a lot on TV shows with the PBA tour. And then Mosquito says she has the low flare. Low flare, I love it. I love the low flare. He's gonna get one.
It's on my list. It was on my list of possibilities. I did just pick up the Teal Rhino Pro. Low flare was high on my list of things that I probably want to pick up also.
Okay. I mean, I think it's going to work. Anything will work well in your hand, especially with you being back right-handed. You know, you on the right side of the lane. No shade.
No shade lefty cheat code. I'm happy to be back with my right hand.
But is there any more questions on your side before we end it?
I was trying to keep up. Like I said, I do have a hard time seeing some of them. I was trying this other thing and it was delayed so bad that it was useless. I'll come up with something better. Carl is still here for the BS, the shenanigans.
Oh,
No, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I know in our list of stuff to do here, I did want to give a bunch of shout outs to all of our guests that we've had
yeah.
on. Derek Parsons, Alana Reed, Patrick Roper, Jay Shane Lagarde, Josh Justice, Aaron Thomas, and
Yeah.
I know that we have damn good average bowler coming up. Who
Thank you, Miss
else?
Kia. I appreciate you for the 4,000 likes.
Nice.
She said her thumb is tired. I
Oh
appreciate
man,
you.
my guys over here, they're lacking. I'm at 1.4K. I think they like you more than me.
Oh, that's Miss Kia. Miss Kia's cool.
She's awesome, yeah.
But next week, y'all, we will see y'all again. This is going to be concluding our show, but next week it's going to be a collab show. Y'all have heard of him, damn good average bowler. Well, guess what? He's going to be on Let's Talk Bowling. So that's going to be next week. Y'all tune in for the same time. If we do change times, we will let y'all know because we will be optioning on Saturdays as well. But next week, we have it on Friday. So until then, this is Go Time signing off. Coach Geek right over here, about to go throw some bowling balls.
I am gonna go throw some games right-handed.
He's gonna go live, possibly, and we're gonna go at him. So
We'll see.
We'll see you next week. Till then, deuces.
See ya.